Today is February 3rd. I'm gonna seed start some of my peppers today, and also some herbs and some lettuce. Later on I'm going to be transplanting some other seedlings that I've been growing. So the first thing is to fill in these little trays, the 6 packs, with starter mix that I moistened with a lot of water. They come in a dry state, so I'm gonna fill these up. So I'll pack them down real well into the cells, and they're ready to go. So I'm gonna do this for a few 6 packs and we'll be back. Alright, I filled up all my little 6 packs. I got 6 here actually, and then I washed my hands so I can open my seed packs easier. So the first thing I'm gonna sow is banana peppers, and these are seeds that I harvested from my own peppers. I do like banana peppers, so I'm definitely going to grow at least 1 6-pack. And each cell I'm going to put 3 seeds at least. These don't need germinate so well, so I'm going to definitely want to put at least 3 seeds in each cell. And even more sometimes, which is fine. Just to assure that I'm going to have at least 1 plant per cell. And I might just plant more later on. I'll see how many do I really want. The next thing I'm going to plant is my North Star peppers. And again, I do have my homegrown, this is from 2015, so obviously I'm not probably going to use that. That's just my backup. I'm going to use the one from this past year. And for this one I'm going to actually plant 2 6-packs, because I do want a lot of these peppers. They're huge, very tasty, and I just love them. So again, since I do have a lot of seeds anyway, I'm going to plant multiple ones in each cell. And what's going to happen is that if I do get more than one in a cell come up, when I transplant them, I'll just separate them out into their own containers and they'll be fine. So anyway, I'm going to end up with more than just 12 pepper plants, and that's what I want. I actually have it written down in my notebook as to how many I need based on my space, and I can't remember, so at this point I'm just gonna have 2 6-packs packed up, and whatever comes out of it, we'll see how many I have to keep actually. So, oops, don't want them here. I'm gonna start labeling these because I will get mixed up. Let me just put these away. For labeling these little cells, what I do is I have a big label and I just cut them into little labels. And I'm gonna have banana pepper and today's date. And I'll put that ahead of time because, again, I don't want to get mixed up. Okay. So then I'm going to just take a pencil and push these in about 1/4 inch or so into the dirt, the starting mix. think I made this mix a little bit too wet, but that's okay. It will dry out quickly. Clean this off so I don't transfer those. And my North Star. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna take a little bit of more mixed, put that on the top, push it over. So these are done, these three. So let me get my tray, transfer them. So the next thing I'm going to plant is jalapenos, and I have various type of jalapenos, but again, leftovers. They seem to hold well year after year, and they germinate very well. But from last year's giant jalapeno is what I'm going to plant. I always try to start with the freshest seed. Oops. So jalapeno. One thing to remember when you plant hot peppers and mild peppers, you probably don't want to have them in the same bed, basically far away from each other, because they do cross-pollinate and you may end up with hot peppers, hybrids that you don't expect from your mild peppers. So that happened to me last year. I had a couple of plants, and my banana peppers did get hot, so this year, obviously, I'm going to get some hot ones too, because when I saved my seeds, I didn't really pay attention either. But that's the fun part. You're just going to have to watch it and taste the peppers before canning it, because that's what most going to be, canned peppers. Okay, so the jalapeno, I just need 1 6-pack. I use it only for salsa. Same process. I'm going to push them in with this old pencil and come around and cover them up more. Okay, so that was about the peppers, easy peasy. Put those away. So the next thing I'm gonna sow is some lettuce. I got this from the dollar store. We'll see how that goes. They were actually a quarter. But I'm just gonna, because lettuce seeds are so tiny anyway, I'm just gonna put a few in each cell together, like maybe 3 and 4, and again maybe more, because these don't germinate as well as you would think. Lettuces are not that good germinating. And I think I might just make 2 trays of this. And then what I'm going to do is, about 4 weeks later, I'm going to plant another 6-pack or 2 to have spaced out harvesting throughout the spring and early summer. So we'll have 2 trays. I have to make up some more trays. And some labels. So for these, I'm not going to use the pencil to push them. Just tap them in a little bit. And very, very lightly, I'm going to put a little soil over them. Don't want to cover them too thickly because they're tiny seeds. So the other thing I wanted to plant today is going to be basil, and for that I'm going to actually use some existing cells. I'm going to use these cells once I have taken out this sage, a single sage that I'm going to replant, transplant. Just put this here for now. So because I do have space here, I'll fill these up. Because I have to put this under the grow light anyway. I don't like to put them just, you know, with 2 cells filled in. Might as well all the cells occupied under the grow light. So for basil, actually I do like to have a lot of basil, but what I'm going to do is just overseed these cells, similar to the other herbs that I grew. Just nicely pack this in. And then take the basil and just basically sprinkle them all over. I don't want to use up all my seeds, maybe half of it. These are very tiny, so it would be hard to count them out to see how many I want per cell, so just divide it evenly. They're very tiny. Very light sprinkling. And then I need 2 labels for this. Okay, and the remaining cell I have some rosemary, and this is the first time I actually have success growing rosemary. I got 3 plants in here, so I'm assuming this will be ready maybe next weekend or in a couple of weeks. I'm gonna wait for them to get bigger, but in the meantime I can start the basil seeds next to them. Put this away. There were a couple of other things I wanted to grow, which I'm going to wait with for now. Let's deal with the sage and some other transplant that I wanted to do today. This tray has 50 big long cells. Any plant that needs space for long roots would fit well. I don't like them too much because it takes a lot of compost to fill these in. And it gets heavy, but I'm going to use them today. So I'm going to go ahead and start on this corner basically. So for the sage, I actually am going to take out some of the soil. I did not fill them all the way up, just peg them down firmly. And the sage will go into this first cell as a transplant. And this can stay in here probably until I'm ready to plant it out. And I'm going to just put a little more soil around it. Okay, back there. And of course, I need to label that. And 1 stage will be enough for me. The first thing I'm going to plant is going to be the evening stock. So just for now, set that aside. Now I can go ahead and pop these out of their cells. So the evening stock is an annual that has nice little pink flowers and they smell really good. So I like to grow them year after year. Hopefully they will grow and I can get these out. Now I might have to plant some more actually because it's not that many. Let's see if they can come out nicely. And this is actually one of them that got mixed up with. I must have dropped a seed over there. Of course, that can happen. So let's try to tease these out. The easiest because they're top heavy and the roots are just long and skinny. I do want to separate them though. Okay, so here's one. The root is really long, so this kind of arrangement is going to be actually good for it. So I'm just making a big hole down the cell. And put that in there. Here's the next one. Just a deep hole all the way down with my finger. You can use a knife or a screwdriver, whatever helps. But since I'm dirty already, on my hand anyway, my nails are dirty. Okay, all the way down, and into the hole. And I'm gonna have to put some dirt around those as I go along. And here is 4 more. Oh, this is actually falling apart. I put too much dirt in there. Yeah, I would not buy these trays anymore because they're just too deep, and it's probably good for something like corn or grilled beans or something that has long roots, but as regular planting I probably could use half the size, the depth of these cells. But they are strong as far as carrying it around as a unit. They're not going to last long, in my opinion. I bought these last year. Okay, so there's one more in here, somewhere in the mess. I need to get that out, but I'm going to get it out with these other plants. So let me get some more dirt in here, because they're not all the way covered. They need to be sturdy and upright, so what I'm going to do with the other ones, the same scenario. In the next row I'm going to be putting the columbine. Columbines are perennials, and I have a few already out there. I just want to plant some more in a new area. So I'm growing some more from my own seeds as well. So I'll be back when I'm done with that. And the third thing I'm going to plant is chamomile. So I planted the evening stock columbine. I ended up with more than 10 columbines, so and only 8 evening stocks. So I have 14 columbines, and the chamomile I ended up with 2 rows, so 20 of those. The next thing I want to transplant is the viola. So hopefully I have enough here. I have 7 spaces left. If not, I'm just going to put them into bigger pots. I'll figure out something. So I don't want to start a brand new tray just yet for the rest. So the viola is next. And as a surprising update, my lavender is starting to finally germinate. I have one single lavender right there showing, so I'm excited about that. And I think there's another one. I can't really tell if that's a growth or not, but it's exciting. I've never been able to grow lavender, so that hopefully is a lavender. I'm gonna put this back under the grow light. So here's the setup where this transplant's gonna live for the next 4 to 6 weeks. It's kind of dark here now, but here are the transplants from last time I was transplanting, and he seems to be doing okay. They're kind of turning that way because that's where the light's coming from, the daylight. I'm just gonna go ahead and twist them around once a week or so they can kind of evenly grow. And they definitely have grown since I planted them. So here's the setup under my grow lights. I had trimmed the onions a couple of times since last time I filmed this because they were getting very leggy. This red type of onion here is still not germinating very well. I had reseeded now the second time around, so I'm waiting for that to take, hopefully. It's just maybe a 20% germination rate, if anything. The other one back there, the other red type, it's okay, and definitely the yellow onions are perfect as far as germination. So here are the peppers and lettuce that I planted earlier, and herbs on the heating pad and under the grow light. So hopefully next week I will have some germination on the lettuce at least. The peppers take a little longer, but this is how it's set up. I still have a lot of space on the bottom. Don't have anything there under that grow light, so that's going to be used when I start up my tomatoes and my other veggies as well, and that's not going to happen until March probably. Don't want to start them too early, but the peppers do take longer, even though they're going to go outside the same time as the tomatoes, probably early May, middle of May, but the peppers do take a little longer to grow. So that's it for today. The month of February. I'll do an update in a couple of weeks as to what has grown so far.